So we are in the deep of winter, and at least where I'm located, it's been extremely cold, getting down to the negatives. So I'm gonna be giving you guys my top 10 designer winter fragrances of 2022. So stay tuned. Hey, what's going on guys? Hunter here and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, what I do is make fragrance related content. So if you love fragrances, go ahead and smash the subscribe button down below. But that is right guys, we're doing my top 10 designer winter fragrances of 2022. And I'm also gonna be doing the top 10 niche fragrances for winter in 2022 as well. So stay tuned for that list. But today we're focusing on all designer fragrances that work best in the winter, at least my top 10. So we're mostly gonna be looking for obviously like leather heavy fragrances, woody fragrances, maybe some gourmands and stuff like that. So let's not waste any time and let's get right into number 10. Okay, so coming in at number 10 is actually a flanker of another designer fragrance that works perfect in the winter, but I actually prefer this one. So this one is making the list and this is the one I have in my collection. But number 10, it has to go to Paco Rabanne's 1 Million Pop Foam. Now, compared to the original, this one is a little bit more salty. It still has that depth to it. Very, very potent, even more potent than the original, and that one was a beast. This stuff is even stronger, and this just works perfect in the winter, guys. There's something about it, just very dense, very, very concentrated, and it just reminds me of winter. Even though there is some like white florals in there, that is, I guess it's not that heavy, it's not that dominant in this fragrance, but you get like this solar vibe to it as well. Just very, very potent juice, and I love pulling this one out for the winter just because the winter does not stop this stuff from performing. This is a great release, and I cannot wait to try the elixir version of 1 Million. All right, so coming in at number 9 is one of the best leather boozy fragrances, at least when it comes to designers, that you can buy. Even though it has gotten kind of hard to find as a recent, but the fragrance I'm speaking about is John Varvatos Dark Rebel. This is just the original Dark Rebel, not Dark Rebel Rider. But with Dark Rebel, you're gonna get a ton of leather, like a dark, smoky, kind of animalic sort of leather in this one. Alongside, I believe it has rum in here, which makes it boozy. Just a very dark, polarizing fragrance that you're not gonna wanna pull out all the time. But if you're gonna wear this one, you're definitely gonna wanna reach for this in those colder winter months, like we're currently in. That's why it's making number 9 on the list. But this one, honestly, it does kind of remind me of something that doesn't sound good, but it just reminds me of it. It kind of reminds me of like mothballs, to be honest with you. Maybe there's some people out there like the smell of mothballs, but yeah, I do get some of like a mothball vibe in this fragrance, but it's not all that, just a slight. It is very boozy, very leathery, very dark, very masculine as well. Now, the performance with this one isn't that bad. I know John Varvatos has a bad rep as far as lackluster performance. This one does perform better than most of them that I've tested, so it definitely isn't the worst for the colder months, even though it won't project the entire time. And if you're gonna be wearing this one when it's extremely, extremely cold, you might wanna overspray it. But yeah, that's why it's coming in at number 9. It's because it's a fantastic leather fragrance. If you're looking for this one, look sooner than later because the prices are increasing. Okay, so coming in at number 8 is actually an iris heavy based fragrance. And with iris, you're obviously gonna get creaminess, sometimes like a lipstick vibe. And this fragrance here gives Dior Homme Original a run for its money. And I'm speaking about Valentino Uomo Intense. This beautiful black studded bottle. So with Uomo Intense, this is an extremely warm, comforting, creamy iris fragrance. You also get that mandarin in here as well. The combination of the two works perfectly together. And honestly, guys, I think I actually prefer this over Dior Homme Original. With Dior Homme Original, I appreciate it. It did bring kind of iris more popular into fragrances. It is a great blend, do not get me wrong, but I actually prefer this one over it. It's a little bit more darker. I think there's leather in here as well, which makes it even better for the winter. Dior Homme, I wouldn't actually prefer that one into the winter, to be honest with you, but this one here is just incredible. So if you're actually looking for an iris heavy fragrance for the colder months, definitely check out Uomo Intense. Now, there actually was a scare that this was discontinued, but no, they actually just relaunched it under a different bottle where it has spikes around the atomizer now. So that's how you can tell if it's a newer formulation. I do have an older formulation right here. But yeah, this is just a creamy, beautiful fragrance, which makes it a little bit more dark with the leather, like I said. There's a ton of leather fragrances in this list, and there's gonna be definitely more coming up. But that's at number 8 is Uomo Intense. Okay, so coming at number 7, I'm actually surprised this one made it more further up the list. Probably because I've owned it for a very long time. I think I've had this fragrance for 5 years or so, but it is a staple in my winter rotation 100%. The fragrance I'm speaking about is Victor Royale Spice Bomb, the original Spice Bomb, not the Extreme. I do not own the Extreme. I have smelt it, but I just love Spice Bomb original, guys. So with this fragrance, obviously you're gonna get a ton of tobacco in here. Very woody, tobacco heavy. Man, I get some kind of like berry accord in here. I don't think berries are listed, but you do get some kind of berry vibe with this fragrance, and I just love it, guys. And this has got me so many compliments when I wear this one. Almost every time I wear this one, it usually gets a compliment. People adore this fragrance around me. It's kind of, yeah, obviously it's spicy, very spicy actually, very spicy, somewhat woody, heavy on tobacco, and some kind of like berry vibe with Spice Bomb. You just cannot go wrong with this one. It's very masculine as well. And this stuff is a beast. The original is a beast. I know Extreme's also a beast, may perform better than the original, but I actually prefer the composition of the original Spice Bomb over the Extreme. And this will probably forever be in my winter rotation when it comes to designer fragrances. I just cannot live without this one in the quarter months. But that's at number 7 is Spice Bomb Original. Okay, so coming at number 6 is probably one of the best designer launches of 2021. And the fragrance I'm speaking about is Azzaro's The Most Wanted in this fantastic matte black revolver bottle that they're known for. But with The Most Wanted, guys, it's very spicy, like a warm, spicy fragrance from the cardamom in the top here. It does dry down to become woody as well. It has a nice woody base, but the most dominant player in here is actually this chocolate accord. Very gourmand with the chocolate. And it just makes it perfect for the cold months, guys. It's a very warming fragrance. Very crowd pleasing as well. And I actually love this one over the original, over the Most Wanted. Then you have Wanted Night, and then you have Wanted Tonic. This is my favorite one, and definitely a fantastic launch from Azzaro. So if you haven't smelled The Most Wanted, and you want a darker, more amped up version than say By Night, or just the original Wanted, definitely check out this one here. You will not be disappointed. All right, so coming in at number 5 has got to be one of the best leather fragrances, hands down. If you're just looking for a dominant leather-based fragrance, kind of like a new car smell leather, this is the fragrance for you. And I'm speaking about Tom Ford's Ombre Leather from the Signature line here, guys. Man, oh man, I'm so happy to finally add this in my collection. I did actually get this for my birthday in January. So yeah, I've been wearing this so much, guys. This is perfect for the weather we're in now. So with this one, obviously you're gonna get a heavy dose of leather. And it's like a dark, unlike Tuscan leather, Tuscan leather isn't that new car smell leather, and that's mixed with like raspberries and stuff like this. This one, you're just gonna get heavy leather. You also get like this nice dirty jasmine in here as well. And it just works amazing, guys. I'm so happy they actually launched this in the Signature line, because if you didn't know, Ombre Leather first came out under the private blend. It was actually known as Ombre Leather 16. And I think they're the same exact composition with the private blend and Signature. But yeah, I'm definitely rocking this one a ton for the winter months, and I'm gonna be kind of sad once winter's over. Even though this one you can pretty much wear all year round, but it does work the best for the quarter months. But that's at number 5 is Ombre Leather by Tom Ford. All right, so coming at number 4 is actually a fragrance by the house of Zara. Now, Zara isn't really known for their fragrances, but this one here is definitely a hidden gem. And the fragrance I'm speaking about is Zara X Jo Malone, since she's the perfumer, and this is Ebony Wood. Wow. For the price value of this fragrance and the quality, this is a must-have in your collection for winter. So with Ebony Wood, of course, you're gonna get that nice dark ebony wood in here, but you also get cloves and you get peppers, pink pepper as well, I believe is in here. Very spicy, woody fragrance. And that's just pretty much it. I think there's only like 3 notes listed in this fragrance. I think they only list 3 notes in all of their line, at least with the Jo Malone collection at least. But yeah, ebony wood, I think you get cloves and I believe pink pepper in here as well. And man, that's all this fragrance is. It's just a very woody, spicy fragrance, but it is made by a master perfumer. Jo Malone herself did create this fragrance. And I believe you can get this fragrance for around like 30 bucks for a 90 mil. That is a no-brainer for the quality of this juice here. If you want to stand out, you want to smell different, and you want to smell warm and spicy and woody, definitely check out Ebony Wood for the winter months. All right, so at number 3 is actually my favorite designer launch of 2021. And you guys might know what fragrance this is. And the fragrance I'm speaking about is Christian Dior's Sauvage Elixir. Wow, this takes a completely different take than the original Sauvage. Definitely amps it up a ton. The quality is so much higher in this fragrance as well. And this is, of course, pretty much a parfum concentration, so the highest in concentration oils that you can get in a fragrance. But with this one, I get a ton of lavender. It's not like your typical barbershop fragrance by any means. This is very, very modern. I also get this nice kind of like spicy cinnamon note in here. And it's heavy on amber. You get that golden warm amber as it dries down. And that is what makes this perfect for the winter. And guys, this is one of the strongest fragrances in my entire collection. This stuff just pushes off the skin, even more than Sauvage EDT, which is a beast of its own. But this one here takes it up a couple notches over that fragrance. And this is not juvenile like the original Sauvage. This is much more grown up, much more masculine, and just all in all, a much better fragrance than the EDT. The EDTs get a ton of ambroxan. That's pretty much what that fragrance is known for, just a burst of ambroxan, which ambroxan's nice. It definitely makes it more masculine. It definitely ups the performance, but for this one, guys, there's much more going on, much more complex. And this fragrance is actually very pricey for a designer. I think for a 60 ml, it's like 155 bucks. So pretty expensive from Dior for sure. But I think it's a great, great launch from them. And like I said, it's my favorite launch of 2021, at least designer wise, for a reason. Okay, so coming at number 2 has got to be one of the most complex fragrances in my entire collection. Just has a ton of notes and it develops so much on your skin. And also this fragrance was first launched as a woman's creation. And I don't see how or why they would have done that, because I don't get any feminine touches to this fragrance whatsoever. It is very unisex, which it is now marketed as. But the fragrance I'm speaking about is Tom Ford's Black Orchid. This is the original Eau de Parfum version of it. Now with Black Orchid, guys, I don't know how I lived without this fragrances when I got into fragrances for around 2 years now, since I started getting heavy into collecting and stuff. But man, am I happy to have this one a part of my collection. This just works perfect for the colder winter months. And also this was Tom Ford's first creation under his brand. This came out in 2006, a year before the private blends, which we know as oud wood, tobacco vanille, Tuscan leather, a lot of staples from him. But if this fragrance wasn't launched in 2006, this would easily be part of the private blend collection. This is no less in quality than the private blends whatsoever, guys. This smells very luxurious, very luxurious. But with Black Orchid, obviously you do have like that orchid note. I think it was actually something like Black Orchid, Tom Ford had someone make or something like that, or he had a Black Orchid, I believe. Something along those lines the story is. But mostly what I get with this is a dark chocolate, nice gourmand dark chocolate note. And also what you get in this is a truffle. Now, if you don't know what truffle is, which is obviously another gourmand note, but truffle actually comes from the ground. So with truffles, guys, it makes it very, very earthy, very dirty, very earthy. And on my skin, the truffle note comes out a ton, man, a ton. But yeah, truffle note, which is somewhat like a mushroom, I believe. Even though it does kind of like a chocolate ball, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, you can't eat that stuff. I never had it, but I love the way it smells. And also you have a heavy dose of patchouli, which makes it more green and earthy alongside the truffle note. Man, I love this one. Also vanilla, you get that creamy vanilla. But there's just a ton of notes in this fragrance. And usually when you blend a ton of notes together, it doesn't really make a good creation. But this one here is definitely a good creation. And it's at number 2 for a very, very good reason. Do not be persuaded by the bottle and think it's a female fragrance. Trust me, any guy can pull this one off. All right, so coming in at number one, you guys may know what fragrance made the number one spot because I've talked about it so many times for the winter, but if you're new, you probably do not know what I'm talking about. But this fragrance, guys, is a must-have for my winter rotation. And it's a fragrance that I cannot live without for the quarter months. And if I were to choose one fragrance, or I had to pick one fragrance out of my entire collection that I can only wear in the winter, this would most likely be the fragrance I pick. And the fragrance is Maison Margiela's By the Fireplace. Now, By the Fireplace, that's exactly how this one smells. That's what the whole replica line is. It pretty much resembles certain situations, certain scenarios, and certain events and environments. That is what this one smells like. It's By a Fireplace. Now, with this one is, yeah, you get a ton. It's very creamy. It's kind of it has a heavy dose of vanilla, especially when it dries down, which makes it nice in the winter. But you have a heavy dose of like smokiness in here. Not too much smokiness. So if you're like kind of persuade away from smoke fragrances, you definitely still have to check this one out. It's kind of nutty. It kind of smells like chestnuts roasting by a fire, which I believe, okay, it says burning wood and chestnut. Yeah, it does kind of smell like that, like chestnuts roasting on a fire. I just picture myself like sitting by a fire wearing this one, drinking hot chocolate or coffee, and just staying cozy. This is a very cozy fragrance. And for some reason, it could be like negative 10 degrees outside, but when I'm wearing this one, it almost like warms me up, almost like I am sitting by a fire. It's almost like my personal fireplace with me at all times when I rock this one. So that's why this will forever be in my collection. And yeah, can't live without it. But that's number one for my top 10 designer winter fragrances of 2022. Let me know down below if you actually have, if you agree with me on any of these. Let me know down below of your top 10 designer fragrances for winter. And let me know down below if you actually decide on picking any of these up for those quarter months. I'm definitely curious. But if you did enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch all you guys in the next fragrance upload. Take care, everybody.